Hello everyone, I am Dr. Saurabh Dixit and I am a consultant laparoscopic and robotic surgeon practicing in New Delhi. So today this is not an educational video, this is a video about my life, or this is a video about a surgeon's life, how a surgeon is in his life and how he manages his life. What are the pros and cons that we have actually faced and what a surgeon actually faces. So I'll discuss a lot of things about this branch, what it actually means to be a surgeon. So when you talk about surgery as a career, there are 2-3 things that you need to understand. First of all, a lot of students ask me, sir, how do you feel being a surgeon? So the first thing is like, when I talk about myself becoming a surgeon and when for the first time, I went into those scrubs basically, I felt like I was a king. And I am a king basically. So yes, you should have that passion to be in this branch, and passion is very important. So the main driving force in this branch is passion. And if you're passionate about surgery, then sky is the limit. Because one thing that we all have to understand, that this is a branch requiring a lot of endurance and lot of patience. So if you see the settlement, the settling graph takes a lot of time. So basically, if you compare the surgery with the medical, other parasurgical branches, especially like if you talk about medicine. So medicine and surgery, the initial phase is just like, is the same. But the curve, or you can say, but the incubation time which is required is very less. So in medicine, in very short span of time, you can settle down. But when you talk about surgery, this incubation time is relatively what students longer. So it takes a lot of time to settle. But actually, in medicine or in other branches, you have a plateau. But surgery, if you are passionate about surgery, sky is the limit. And if you actually want to become the master of all, yes, you will have to devote a lot of time. But actually, this journey is not, you can say, very comfortable. Many a times, suppose in the initial phase of your career, if you do a lot of mistakes, you might earn a bad name and then you can never make out. And this is what is very important, that in the initial years, the case selection, the work selection, the places you want to join, they're very important. Like, money should never be a drive to become a surgeon, because if you are a surgeon and if you are passionate about the branch, ultimately you will get work. And once you get work, the money is actually a collateral product of this service. So yes, being a surgeon requires to be very tough, both physically and mentally. Why? Because in the middle of the night, you can get a call from the hospital and it may be a matter of a sleep for you. You might have done a surgery and ended up at 11:30, and then you would have just gone and you just got hold of or you went into that sleep and then you got a call. Now remember, it may be a matter of a sleep for you, but if you don't go to the hospital and you don't treat the patient, and it is you only who can treat this patient, it is not you can give, like in medicine or like in another branches, you can tell someone on phone that, okay, do this and I may be coming and may be reaching in the hospital, or if it is required, I might come. So I'm not saying that they are not doing the emergencies, they are also equally doing the emergencies. But in surgery, no one can replace your work, no one can replace you. You cannot say, okay, make the incision like this and then you insert the ports and then you retract the appendix like this and do an appendicectomy. So a 5 minutes delay can change the hierarchy of that family, and this is what is very important. So when you are a surgeon, you have to understand that commitment is very important. You may have a very hard life also because of the nature of the work. Again, the people don't trust a young surgeon. It takes a lot of time to make that name and fame, and that initial phase is really very grueling. So when you are becoming a surgeon, try to understand that you have to get that phase of getting screwed in the initial phase. Everyone is going to exploit you. Boss, you are going to do any work, people will criticize you. Why? Because you are a young surgeon and no one wants their replacement, because sometime everyone would have been into those shoes, and that is why there are a lot of people who discourage, okay, this is not good, you go to the peripheries and start practicing. But let me tell you about myself. I chose to get settled down in Delhi. Now, when I was coming to Delhi, I had no background in Delhi. I had my upbringings from Kanpur, so I have been born and brought up in Kanpur, and settling in Delhi was a big decision. Why? Because I had no one, not even friends properly. I would say I was not having any friends. So settling in a big tier 1 city, the challenge is you have the word saturation here. So when you go for interviews, and when you go for appointments, and when you go for you can say practice, everyone you will see that there is saturation. There are already big names, and how can you in short span of time compete with them? Either you have to wait for them to just get retired and then you replace them, and by that time you will also grow old, or you need to have that jackpot, like you need to have a good financial support so that you can just initially manage that phase, or maybe you are rich so you can open your hospital and you can start working from that hospital from the day one. But try to understand, it's pointless. There are a lot of people who say take surgery only here if you have a, you can say, rich family background. This is absolutely wrong. Try to understand. You can buy a hospital, your father can buy a hospital, but your father can never buy a skill for you. You'll have to learn that skill, and skill will take time. If you open up a hospital and kill 10 people in the first go, try to understand that will be sold at half of the rate. And not even anyone will buy, because of they will have an apprehension that, okay, this place is also gloomy and ominous. So there are a lot of people who come to me and say, sir, I am from a very moderate family background, or I am from an average family background, and how can I open my hospital? Let me tell you about myself. Now, when I started with a hospital, leave that scenario. When I started my practice, I did not get any financial support from my family, because my family people were not that rich that they will support me with. I am always obliged to them, overwhelmed to them, and indebted to them that they taught me. They did everything to give me the best education, and that is why I got into this medical profession, and then I completed everything and I started everything on my own. Remember, I did not take any single penny, and it was just the skill and the conviction in your skills. So I had a very strong conviction that, okay, if anyone can do, I can also do. Let it be gradual, and slowly I start and evolved. And remember, if you are skillful, no one can stop you. You are unstoppable. Why? Because those senior surgeons were not available at the odd times, and I started with the odd time because that was the lacune. Because a young surgeon will waste the time in the evenings, and you can say, when I grow and I become more mature, I will always try to have a comfortable working schedule. I will not work off late. I will not go to the hospital at 1 a.m. So there is always a scope for the youngsters who want to catch that opportunity, and I actually catch that opportunity. And that is how I converted my fortune into 2 hospitals. Right now, I own 2 hospitals in Delhi. So that is not a very big achievement, but for a kid like me, for a person like me, I think that it was a big achievement. And the next thing is that trust on your skills, have patience, have motivation, and you will definitely go through. So right now I am actually doing only laparoscopic surgeries, and apart from laparoscopic surgeries, I do laparoscopic and robotic surgeries, and I actually enjoyed that. There are a lot of people who asked me, sir, why didn't you go for MCH? Were you not intelligent to crack MCH? You know, I teach NEET SS students, so MCH is not a big deal for me, but my perspective was I wanted to become laparoscopic and robotic surgeon, and there is no branch where actually there is a separate, you can say, course in robotics and you can say laparoscopy. Only thing which we have is diplomas and fellowships, which I have already done. So I was very happy with the thing that I wanted to be a laparoscopic surgeon, and I became. And how I actually got motivated to become a laparoscopic surgeon, because when I wanted to become a urologist basically in the initial days. So I was I was studying a lot of urology from Campbell and Walsh, and I was preparing that in the first go I will crack it. I would have done it, because you know, I was always good in academics, and I was into this teaching business also. So it was a laparoscopic workshop which was held in my hospital, in my college basically, and I got a chance to assist a lot of people. Actually, I volunteered that I want to assist, and I got a chance, and that was the point that I got a kick. And basically, there was a very big surgeon who came to my hospital, and he said, okay, you have that hands-on, you can say, swings, that you can be a very good laparoscopic surgeon, and that gave me a more, you can say, boost to become a surgeon. And that was the time I decided to go for this blindly, and after that I did not have a second thought. And today I am doing a laparoscopic surgeries and a lot of robotic surgeries, and I have started my own institution by name of LaproCare World, where I am actually teaching the students and I am preparing them for this fellowship in minimal access surgery and diploma in minimal access surgery. So as far as laparoscopy is, let me tell you about something about laparoscopy. It's a minimal invasive surgery where you make small nicks and you enter into the, you can say, abdomen. A lot of people think that it's a laser surgery. No, there is nothing known as laser. Laser is a misnomer which a lot of people use in the industry. So it's not a laser surgery. We make a nick, we insert the ports, and we go inside and we actually do the surgery. So now, how is laparoscopic surgery different from open surgeries? In open surgeries, we need to open the abdomen, or you have to do a lot of retraction work. You need two helping hands to retract it, and then the results are same but with a scar and the delayed healing. In laparoscopic surgery, we make the keyholes, we enter inside, we do the exactly same thing but with a lot more ease. Why? Because your eyes can have a simple vision, but when you talk about laparoscopy, you have 10 times magnified view, and there actually laparoscopy is a blessing. So you can have a 10 times magnified view, and this can go up to 25 times. So you need more precision in terms of hands-on coordination, otherwise you'll just enjoy. And the abdomen is insufflated, so you have a lot of room, and there is a, you can say, conviction of lot of surgeons that something which is tough in laparoscopy is virtually impossible in open surgery also. So how the robotics came into? So robotics started quite early, but because of the cost of the, you can say, robotics is still not that popular in our country, because the insurance schemes have of late started accepting the claims, otherwise they were not. So robotics is a new trend which has started, but yes, robotics is more useful in case of gynecological surgeries and urological surgeries. For robotic abdominal, you can say, bariatric surgeries, it's okay. It's a laparoscopic assisted robot. So I'm doing TLS, total laparoscopic hysterectomy, robotic total laparoscopic hysterectomy. I'm doing a lot of surgical procedures. But when we talk about the robotics, the advantage is the 3D vision. In laparoscopy, you have a 2D vision, and robotics, you have a 3D vision. In laparoscopy, you need to convert the 3D vision that you are seeing into a 2D perception basically. Like you are seeing the screen, you are seeing this monitor, that's a 2D, but it is showing you a 3D. Suppose you are seeing me on the screen, I am looking at 3D, but you cannot touch me, you will only have 2 dimensions. So you are seeing 2D and you are doing a 3D. So the 2D, 3D transformation is actually a big challenge that you have to master on. But in laparoscopy converted into robotics, you have a conventional binocular 3D stereotype vision, and that is how the things are very comfortable. Then there are a lot of people who are comfortable with the left and the right. So left-handed people find it more troubling to do a surgery. So here you can have that arm swapping also. So right can be converted into left, left can be converted into right. So you do the same thing from left, but that will be done from the right. Then there are a lot of people who say that I have tremors. So you know, robotics has a big advantage. So first advantage that I have told you about the robotics is, you can say, the tremor filtration. So you have a tremor filtration. What is this tremor filtration? Suppose you are having the hand movements, very shaky hand movements. You can filter it to 1:2, 1:4, 1:8, 1:16 also. So you are moving the hands like you are playing a tennis match, and those movements are very gently, you can say, reflected inside. Then you have a 3D vision, the 3D binocular vision. Then you have an advantage of one more thing, that is a robot follows. A lot of people think that robot will do the surgery, and sir, any mishap happens, then what will happen? So robot is based on that master and slave, you can say, dynamics. So I am the master, I am controlling, and this is the slave. So robot has an advantage that I can do a transatlantic surgery. I can sit in India and do a surgery in UK. I can sit in Dubai and can do the surgery in India. The only thing that you need is a very high, good speed internet connections. So if you have good internet connections, there will be less technical lag. So you are doing the movements in US and the surgery is being conducted via that wireless Wi-Fi mechanism in this country. So the transatlantic surgery is also a big blessing. So over the time this branch is actually emerging, and let me tell you students, or any surgeon who takes up surgery, they always have a cause, and the cause is one that they wanted to be a surgeon. A surgeon is surgeon by the choice, not by the chance. It's not like you got a good rank and you became a surgeon. Yes, you had that vision that I want to become a surgeon. Suppose there are a lot of students who come to me that, sir, I want to be a surgeon, but I don't think that I can stand here for a long time, or sir, it's a late settling branch. If you have any question, you're not into the surgery. Surgery is not a branch for you if you have a slightest of the doubt. So I enjoy my branch a lot. And why I'm fascinated into laparoscopic surgery? Because a surgeon never, you can say, gets aged. Surgeons are always lively at heart, and this robotic surgery also grows with the, you can say, age. And you must be thinking, sir, how is this possible? Suppose if you turn 80, then will you be able to do? Maybe by the time you may be suffering from Parkinson's. So I am going to share a small video that has been shooted somewhere in the US. So I'll share it with you, and you just enjoy this. You just enjoy this video. So let us see this video. So this is a guy who is actually cleaning the floors. And he's enjoying his work like everyone does, and he enters into that OT, operation theatre, and then he comes out. Just try to understand this video. It's a wonderful video. So you can see a robotic console behind now. This is a robot console. So robot is mimicking the same movements, hand movements, and this is showing how much the hand's flexibility is there, freedom of rotation is there. You can appreciate the degree of freedom of movements. So you can see that robotics never, you can say, ages, and neither does the robotic surgeon. So this was my brief experience about how I am as a surgeon, and I'm personally doing good. and I see a lot of young generation getting motivated to become a surgeon, and I give you can say I share my warm regards to all those students who, or all those people who are aspiring to become surgeon. So all the best, and if you are thinking to become a surgeon, do take it. It's a wonderful branch.